going to be first to the floor here.
First to the floor podcast. Shout out to Australia.
Jordan Crawford, nice move with the dribble.
Here's driving on Stoudemire. The jumper, yes!
What a diving save by the guard.
Yeah! Boston wins! Tatum drives down and throws it down!
You guys are talking about a dynasty. Here's where it is, right here. That's the best
For the tie.
best team in the world right now.
Marcus Smart at the bottom.
Shireman in the deck.
What is up? First the floor. I'm Jake Eisenberg, joined by Sam LaFrance. How about them Celtics first the floor? Crossovers are endless and magical. How are we, Sam?
Doing well. Excited to join. Lots of fun stuff to talk about. I was listening to you guys when I was out in Las Vegas. I sat everybody on the couch in the Vegas house and was like, put you and Greeny on for the first Summer League game recap. So I've been paying attention. I know we're all on the Chris Sinak hype train. The Dylan
Love
Mitchell. I don't even know what I would call the Dylan Mitchell. Rocket ship.
You are driving the rocket ship, I'm pretty sure.
Just me?
No, it's not definitely
sent out on a solo mission.
No, it's definitely not a solo mission, but you're either the one driving it or the engineer that was like, we can get to the sun if we use Dylan Mitchell as our fuel. It's beautiful. It's summer, and we're now kind of officially into the depths of the off season. I was very jealous of all of you guys in Vegas. It's just such a fun time. Obviously, the Celtics were in the Cox for most of the event, and when they were in the big stadium, there was nobody there. It didn't look like.
It was I left midway through.
Yep.
So I only saw the Cox games. Did not see a Celtics game in Thomas Mack. I did see like other games, like I was there for AJ versus Darren, the most anticipated Wizards Jazz game ever. And I love Cox Pavilion. Like that is the best place to watch any form of NBA basketball. You're so close to the action. Like I was lucky enough to be in the media section this time, so I was I had priority streaks seating, and it was fantastic. I missed you guys though. I think like 3 or 4 times I was like, damn, I wish they were here to Jack.
Well, we'll have to get back for the 2028 Summer League when the Celtics are picking number 1 overall in the draft. So that's something we'll have to get back to. But Summer League, I thought was pretty awesome from the Celtics. I think obviously a team that wasn't stacked with high draft picks. It's all late picks, highest being Sinak at 27, second round picks, undrafted guys. So definitely doesn't have some of the higher end talent as some of the other teams. And going into it, it was like this offense could struggle. And in game 1, there was a streak of 17 missed shots. Maybe we start there. Hugo Gonzalez was kind of tasked with being the offensive engine for the Summer League Celtics. And there were some clunky moments for sure. But I thought he acquitted himself pretty damn well as the lead initiator, as a guy that was asked to do it basically not at all as a rookie, and was surrounded by minimal shooting and minimal creation. I think that you come away pretty encouraged by the passing and playmaking development.
Yeah, I think so. He still turned the ball over a fair amount, like not to come in here, like literally the first player thrown a positive pass, and I'm just like, no, we're gonna let that one go out of bounds, and we're gonna check ball at the top of the key with some negativity. I think like that stuff is because they were like, hey, Ugo, go out there and like do your best. Like you're playing with Sam, Jake, and the boys, and you're gonna have all of the defensive attention on you. And largely he did really well because Ugo had he didn't make either of the Summer League, like all league teams, but he had a real case for it. I think he was 18, 10, and or 18, 8, and 5 or something like that through 3 appearances. Pretty good. And he didn't even shoot the ball well. Like we're coming out of these games impressed with Ugo and like, wow, he looked really sharp and he was doing a lot of things to put a positive impact on it for Boston. And by the way, they didn't lose with him out there. So that alone should tell you a little bit about how important he was to the whole operation with the added ball handling responsibility and everything that came along with it. The fact that he was able to impress that way, what do you shoot 33% from the field? And let's see, I have the stats in here somewhere. So, very poor shooting. Something that if Jason Tatum did it, you would be hearing from me.
Yes, you would definitely be hearing from you as my computer is lagging as I try to bring up my Celtics blog article to remind me of some of these stats. But it was 5.7 assists to the 3.7 turnovers. And for a team that philosophizes managing the turnover battle and the margin battle and the shot battle has become basically the identity of the Boston Celtics at this point, they definitely want to see that number come down a little bit. But a 1.54 assist to turnover ratio is really good for a guy that has not been asked to do it before. And again, the context was really, really difficult. And so I think that's the part. Yes, the turnovers were too high, but he's not going to be asked to be a lead creator for the Celtics. And it's the two-man game that he was running with Amari Williams, some beautiful patience, some beautiful passes, and some of the strength on the drives I thought were really impressive. The way that he's getting downhill, he was addicted to Euro stepping, and it's still in there. He still loves, like, the addiction's not gone. And if you've ever dealt with addiction, it's never gone. The addiction to Euro stepping will be there until his last breath. But what he was doing instead, getting downhill, getting contact, and just using like big shoulders, creating space, and then getting to floaters or drawing more defenders and then making passes. Like that's something that I think when you look at the development of Ugo can be really valuable, because obviously the shot is important, but you look at the correlation between shooting efficiency in Summer League and NBA efficiency. It's basically the stat that has the least carryover of pretty much anything. The things that do carry over, assists, rebounds, blocks, a lot of those things that Hugo did well actually are statistically more likely to carry over. And I don't know about you, like what do you see as a high-end outcome for Ugo, either as like the type of player, or is there a comp that you have felt yourself being drawn towards?
Somebody like Josh Hart, I think, is a really good one. I think the motor's there. I think the rebounding ability's there. He might be a better version of Josh Hart, where I think he's probably more skilled with the ball in his hands. But I could see Ugo becoming the type of guy that gets a rebound and just pushes it because he's like, let's run the pace and put the other team out on a flat foot. I completely agree with your case on the other stats mattering. Like, that is what feels like the big takeaway for him should be in Summer League, where he did everything to help them win games. And to build on your point about going into contact, that first game against Toronto where they came back and won in overtime, he was atrocious shooting the ball. He was like 3 of 16 or something crazy like that. He shot 9 free throws. He shot 9 free throws in a Summer League where they were awarding less free throws for every foul. So if you like did a weighted free throws attempted for this Summer League, he probably shot 15 or 16 in that first game. That's impressive stuff. The ability to not see your shot falling and be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go and take it upon myself to get myself some free throw attempts and take advantage of some lackluster defense and put my will on these guys. And he did it. So I thought he was really, really impressive. And going into the season, I'm excited to see what kind of role he gets, because he's being asked to take shots that aren't typical shots too.
Yep, 100%. Loving. People are guzzling the Ugo juice. The free throw rate, a really great thing to bring up. Another one of those stats that has statistically carried over from Summer League to the NBA is free throw rate. And you talk about offense. I think a lot of the time we get caught up in shooting being the skill that matters for some of these players. And it is at the end of the day. Like, you can't be a complete non-shooter, but he's already proven kind of that he's semi-capable in his rookie season. But the strength and the size to get downhill and draw free throws is incredibly valuable when trying to juice your offense. And I love the Josh Hart comp. We've got OG as a ceiling comp here in the chat as well. I was listening to your pod with Noah, and she was saying that scouts around Summer League are saying that he's like, this guy's going to be a multi-time All-Star. Z Gamer in the chat right now, Steven and Z Gamer. I promised to buy both of them Hugo Gonzalez jerseys if Hugo makes 2 All-Star teams, because they're like, yeah, easy. 2 All-Star teams. So there's a group of people that believe that's the type of player that he's going to develop into. And I was trying to envision what it looks like. And I think I may have come up with a version of it. There's a couple of guys, but there's another European dude that plays in the south of the United States that has a semi-questionable jumper, is a jumbo creator, an elite rebounder, elite in the turnover margin, and his name is Franz
Giannis?
Wagner.
Oh,
He's not that bad at shooting. Come on.
can you imagine?
Yeah, just Spanish. Spanish Giannis. That's true. Greek Giannis. So Franz Wagner, and another comp that we came up with in the Discord from Steven was Denny Avdia. When you talk about the free throw rate, and a guy that kind of came in as a role player, started to flash some more signs as a creator, and now basically lives at the line. And man, Hugo still being 20 and being the size and having the strength that he already does. These are the super high end comps we're talking about. Me personally, think we're getting crazy. I think big Josh Hart, as I still think is on the higher end of comps. Like Josh Hart just started on a team that won the title. So that would be pretty lofty heights for a guy that you drafted 27th overall. But hey, if people in the chat have Hugo as Spanish John Havlicek, who am I to disagree with you?
I love Hugo, man. Just thinking about the way that he went from the playoffs where he did not play until game 7. They put him in game 7 and he raises hell. Like the Celtics were dead. And he took I think I said the wrong thing the last time I tried to do this. I said EKG. I don't think it's EKG. He took the electric things and revived them, hit them with a Claro because it's Spanish. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Okay.
He got them back to life, and he got them back in the game just by being a motorhead. Then he goes and plays for Spain. He's diving over the advertisement board surrounding the court. He comes to Summer League with this gargantuan bruise on his bicep. It looks like he tore his shit. That's how bad the bruise was. And he goes out there and then puts up a near triple-double in the opener and is largely consistent the whole time with the non-scoring stats. Just really, really impressed with him. Defibrillator. There you go. What's the EKG? Tell me in the chat. We don't have to waste
EKG is. I know an AED, if I'm not mistaken, as I've done my CPR and first aid every year, being a swim teacher and a tour guide, and they're like the ones you can put around like the city, like in shopping centers and gyms and stuff. So I believe that's an AED, but I don't think we should probably veer away from this conversation.
If we do enough acronyms, we'll get to a bomb.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not trying to get banned from YouTube today, at least. All right. If you had a grade for Hugo for Summer League, what do you got?
I said A-. I wrote about him for Hardwood Houdini. If he could shoot the ball, he would have been A+. But the sub 35 on both splits, tough. But everything else, I was impressed with his confidence. I was impressed with his leadership. He was a clear difference maker on a team with, besides Uzon, no other ball handling dudes that you could trust. I liked what we saw from Hugo.
Love it. I had him as a B+. And what's great about writing and doing these things is you can give someone a grade and everyone and gonna love it. Can call you a bad grader or a good grader. I want to shout out one specific fan in the Celtics blog comments, European NBA fan, clearly a Spanish Hugo Gonzalez fan. He laid out all of the jet lag and travel issues that Hugo Gonzalez could have been having after going and playing in Madrid for the FIBA game. So leg one, Boston to Madrid, 3,400 miles, 7 hours to join the national team, losing 6 hours. Leg two, intra-European travel, Madrid to a place that I'm not going to pronounce, Georgia and back, crossing 2 time zones, and then Madrid back to Vegas, 14 hours, 5,400-mile journey, shifting another 9 hours. Like, a couple of things. One, I respect the grind and the glaze of Hugo Gonzalez right here.
Glaze.
Yeah, can't argue with that. Two, as someone that's done versions of this travel, it's fucking hard. So he was also 20, which is important and he was probably flying first class. So that takes an element off it, but at the same time, that is he was probably dealing with more of fatigue and time zone shit than anybody else at Summer League.
Safe to say. I think that is a safe bet to be like, Ugo, most time zones traveled in the last month for sure. Yeah. And most games played because he was out there playing hard for Spain. RJ asked how vocal was Ugo on the floor. I don't specifically remember his like communication. I do remember how expressive he was. Specifically, there was an Amari floater in the first game as they were kind of coming back, and Amari gets it midway through the paint, floats it, and it like bounces off the rim, and it looks like it's going to drop out, and he's like, oh, and then it goes in, and he celebrates. Very, very youthful, Ugo.
Yeah, he's still really mistake recovery. I actually do think is a pretty big skill, and he needs to get better at that. Whereas like Tatum, incredible at mistake recovery. Literally has never let a missed shot deter him from taking the next shot, which I know makes Sam LaFrance and RJ in the chat very happy. Before we keep going, we'll hear from our friends at Prize Picks here. It's a scorching sports summer. You can make all your picks on Prize Picks. The WNBA and baseball are heating up with big tennis slams and major golf tournaments on the horizon. There's no better place for all your summer sports than Prize Picks, America's #1 sports pick app. And, just fade us every time we give you one of these picks, because I think we're 1 for 10 or 7 at this point. But download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, America's #1 sports pick app. It's beautiful. He also was writing notes on the one game that he did miss.
That's right.
Gonzalez. So he's basically ready. That's the joke now on Celtics Twitter, is that if you're going to be playing for the Celtics, you got to have multiple jobs. That's the rule. You got to be working double shifts. Derek White was like, I missed a lot of shots in the first round. I'm now coaching Summer League.
which they were very unhappy about, the NBA. Those Derek White coaching social posts from both the Celtics and the NBA, they didn't survive like 6 hours. They got wiped out. Oh yeah, because Keontae George was like they asked the Jazz, they were like, can he be on the coaching staff? And the NBA was like, no. And the Celtics were just like, we're gonna do it. We're gonna put Derek out there.
What a dumb rule. Who cares?
Who cares is absolutely right. Yeah. I won't even like try and like think of things that could justify it. It's just like, let the kids have fun, dude.
It's Summer League.
Out. Yeah.
What are we doing? All right. That's a good start for grades. B+, A- for Ugo. We're going Chris Senak next here. 27th overall pick. Released his first vlog. I know Ben Valls is going to be pumped about this. First, there were the Brissy files. Now there are the Senak cases. We're workshopping that one. But I was doing a bit of a Mitchell Robertson deep dive yesterday, because we're going to get DJ from Knicks Film School on at some point. And I was looking at the minutes for the Celtics last season, and I was like reminding myself of the big man rotation. And because I was doing it in my mind before I looked. And I was like, I can't remember any other big men really before Vooch was traded aside from Gaza. I was like, and then I was like, I know Amari played a little bit. I know Tillman played a little bit. I know Boucher didn't play, but like, and then I was like, I must be forgetting someone. I know we played small with Minot for a bit, and then I went and looked. I'm like, nope, not forgetting anybody. It's literally Luka Garza, Xavier Tillman, Vooch at the deadline, Amari Williams, and Boucher for less than 100 minutes. So on one hand, I think Mitch Robinson is a underrated signing. We'll get to that. But I do think there's like a path. I think Garza was great last season, but there's a reason he's signed for a minimum. Celtics for knack for getting the best out of guys. Chris Knack flashed enough to me as a 19-year-old in his first time playing like big man kind of style, playing some four. And I was like, I don't know, man, you surround him with the right pieces and the right coaching. I could see him being impactful in year one.
The consensus on Sanak from, I know Emil said it a couple times in scrums, they cannot believe the sheer talent that he has. Like, he's super gifted in athleticism. He has a clear feel for the game. Like, sitting there in the Cox Pavilion watching these games up close, there was nothing more clear to me than, oh my gosh, he's like a tight end going up in traffic and like snagging jump balls, but with rebounds. Like, he was not afraid of anybody. He was going up on 2 or 3, sometimes 4 guys and coming out with the board. Something about the way he jumps, it's not just like, oh, he jumps high, he jumps quick, and he has a good second jump. So those things are all going to be really important for him as a rebounder and as a defender, which we all were like, whoa, where did all these blocks come from? Because in college, that was the whole thing. It's like he doesn't block shots. They didn't allow him to block shots at Houston. They have freed Sanak, and all of a sudden, all he can do is block shots. The defensive and rebounding stuff from him was top tier. Like, oh, wow, we really have something to be super excited about. And this is a guy that plays with confidence at every single turn, sometimes to a fault. Like, we saw him 100%. Shooting the jump shots. The 3 in the corner to tie the game was euphoric. He's celebrating. They end up winning in overtime. He also tries to dunk on everybody, which I do love that he's trying to dunk on everybody. But when he figures out when to dunk on people and when to take layups or even do something else, that will be the time, I think, where he really separates himself as an offensive threat inside, because there were a few different games where he's getting blocked on the way up a lot. And it's like, oh, whether it's like blocked or stripped, it's like all in that motion. He gathers, he goes to go up, and the ball does not go up with him. That was a big area of improvement to me offensively. But as a shot creator for a guy his size, he had the little bump shot at the free throw line. He had a few different things. I think he had a crossover on the baseline that was nasty too. He's got a little something there. There's a lot to be excited about with Chris Sanak.
Yeah. There was not a piece of his game that I don't think we were left answering some questions about. It's like even the passing that was advertised as being non-existent pretty much. Some really, really nice pass. Like, pretty much started Summer League out of the short roll, finding Ugo on like the only 3-pointer that Ugo made in the entire campaign, fading in the corner. He had a really nice one to Vries that he missed, I think, in the last game. Like, he flashed it all. The size, the skill. Sanak might be the best jumper that we've had since Rob. And I agree, not quite to the same level as Rob, because that is as explosive as it gets, but he's a bit taller than Rob. So and they have similar wingspans, and clearly doesn't have the health concerns. Were people at Summer League like, how did this guy fall to the Celtics? Because Eric Weiss in the Discord was talking about how that a lot of people have been saying the same thing, and there's a few reasons for it, but this feels like a nightmare for the rest of the league. It's like the type of guy that, if he goes to the right situation, can realize all of the potential that was a top 10 recruit, that was a projected top 10 lottery pick, until he went to kind of a weird context, and maybe people thought like he thinks he's Kevin Durant, when in reality he should be Chris Bosh.
I can see the comp. I can see it. He's got like a similar build to Bosh too, like where he's slim but like a little awkward looking. I just thought overall the versatility from Chris was really eye-opening. And I remember, I think we were talking to Tyler Rucker before the draft to kind of preview a bunch of guys. And when Jack had done the Chris Sinak video on our channel, I was out that day doing something. I missed the show. And Sinak was guarding dudes that were the best ball handler at Houston. Like when they played BYU, he was picking up AJ on the perimeter and having to guard him. That's an underrated aspect of his game. I don't even really think we got a huge look at it Summer League. And when they unleash that, whenever it may be, we're talking about Chris Bosh, but like this may be the Al Horford replacement that we've been sitting thinking about for years. Like, when are they going to replace him? When are they going to find someone that can do things similar? He's a little similar. He probably needs to bulk up a little bit before you can like be like, all right, go guard Embiid and give him a hard time.
Yeah,
and
that's
maybe be a little more disciplined. But there's a lot of great physical tools here.
Yeah, look, there's not a lot of guys in the league that can do that. Mitch Robinson actually might be someone that can kind of give Embiid and some of the bigger bodies like Jokic, at least someone that they can't move. But Al Horford, I mean, it feels it. So if this was 2 years ago, I'd be like, obviously this is not going to happen, but like very light versions of all of these things. But now I've seen what they've done with Cater, and I've seen what they've done with Baylor Shireman and all of these development stories already. And you look at the tools and the youth of Sinak, where like he's coming in as a dude that turned 19 in February, and he's flashed all of these skills already. The floor on some of these skills is starting from such a high place, like the shooting touch and his ability to kind of like handle the ball a little bit in transition and make some of these passes. The switching, as you said, like that film I watched of him guarding AJ, like, okay, so he can switch. He was one of the block leaders rate-wise in Summer League. So already answering the question about can he protect the rim? It's like, okay, what are we missing here? And you add that to the development that we've seen from everybody else. It feels kind of crazy to talk about some of the names I'm talking about. I don't think he's going to become Chris Bosh, but I also think it's very, very unlikely that he fails now. I'm like, maybe is like another ridiculous comp Bam Adebayo, like one of the best defenders in the league, okay shooting touch, but good passing ability. Again, feels insane, but that's what Summer League's all about.
It is. It's all about the hype train. Like sitting there being like, oh my God, Chris Sinak just tried to dunk on Dylan Mitchell. And if Dylan Mitchell didn't run into him when he was taking off for that dunk, he would have had the nastiest putback slam you've ever seen because he had the distance. That man is going to try and dunk. It's almost like remember when JB was young?
Yes.
And he would miss a lot of dunks because like he was trying to throw down on people. And he eventually got there, but it took him a little while. Yeah. Like maybe it's just a young player thing, but I really do respect the ambition. And I'm super excited to see how Sinak develops going forward. He, like Ugo, did not shoot the ball very well, though. For a guy who had many attempts in the paint, his efficiency was not quite there. I think he, 36.6 from the field, 27.3 from three.
Hell yeah, baby.
Yeah. Slop.
But like, you know, you go look at Darren Peterson's field goal percentage. So it's like it really is the one thing to not look at. Go look at Carson Edwards' field goal percentage and 3-point percentage from Summer League. You know, like,
what a player, man.
Yeah, I've learned a lot in the years, but and it is honestly it's important because like if he makes all of his shots in the league, he'll be an NBA player. And in fact, did not make all of his shots in the NBA. I have A for Chris Sinak.
I had a B+, probably a little too low on him and a little harsh on him, to be honest with you. But another thing we really didn't get to see from him was like great screens being set, which I know
they were horrendous.
Celtics is like a big part of getting on the floor and fitting into what they do. So I docked some points for that. I docked some points for the efficiency because he took some shots on the perimeter, but he did try and go up in the paint quite a bit, and you'd like to see him finish a little bit more of those as a big guy. But overall, like, came away super impressed, feel very high on him. Like, the B+ is not meant to be indication of any kind of doubt. I think he's going to pan out for them pretty well.
Yeah, and I think there's only so much ink and words you can spend caveating everything, but like my grades are typically based on my expectations, and my expectations for Sunak were like, he was billed as a raw 19-year-old who was playing out of position. He's going to be asked to do some stuff that he hasn't been doing. So I was like expecting him to look like Cater 2 years ago, and he didn't. So that's why exceeded my expectations, gets an A from me. I'll let you choose. Pick your poison from the available summer league guys that matter. Don't choose
Caleb Grill. What a player.
Dylan Jones. Was it Dylan Jones? Curtis Jones.
Curtis Jones.
Oof.
F. Moving on. Sorry, Curtis. The problem, I will speak on that for a minute. I felt really weird with the Curtis Jones situation because we're out there, we're writing about these games, we're doing pods on these games. Like, I really don't want to punch down on somebody who's like trying to scrape their way in the league. And it felt kind of weird. Let's move to Dylan Mitchell.
Your boy.
What a player. If you want to talk like the pure euphoria of your expectations being shattered and then broken up again, look no further than Dylan Mitchell's game, because watching some of the highlights like on draft night, knowing not a damn thing about him, right? Like, we didn't do a lot of 40th overall guy scouting. We did a lot of 27 overall scouting. You can see that he passes the ball well, he gets out in transition well, and he's a freak athlete. And then you're like, what's the catch? And you pull up the 6.7 shooting percent. And you're like, oh my gosh, like, this is how did this happen? And then you're watching the summer league, and he didn't take any threes in game 1, but game 2, he goes 2 of 5. He makes another one in game 3, and he makes another couple jump shots in that game 3. And you're watching his jump shot, and you're just like, this is not the jump shot of a guy who was 15 or a 1 of 15 from 3. He only took 15 threes at St. John's. Like, his shot looks smooth. It looks pretty mechanically sound. The rotation on his shot is good. He looked confident for somebody who's a bad shooter, and he did all the other things. Like, in game 1, he had probably his least impressive statistical outing offense-wise. He has 2 steals in Toronto's backcourt in the early second half, where Chucky Hepburn and the gang are trying to get the ball up the court, and they can't do it because Dylan Mitchell is there disrupting and raising hell. And then he has this loud chase down block, his first action as a Celtic, where he swats this shot away. And if you go and watch the highlight, he has to full on tuck his head so he doesn't concuss himself on the backboard. Like, not just ducking his head, like turtling. That's how high up he got on the block. And he had a nasty putback. It only got better from that point on. And we all are like, this guy is special because he has the rest of the tools, and we're already seeing progress towards his jump shot. It's not a finished product, but you can, he even said it. I asked him, I think multiple times, like, since you got to Boston, like, do you feel like your jump shots changed? He's like, yes. Like, the coaches have really focused me on shooting the ball on the way up, getting his mechanics right. And you could see it in those games where you're watching. You're just like, that does not make sense that a guy that was that bad shot this smoothly.
Yeah. Dylan Mitchell, I can imagine in person that this dude completely flies off the court. Like, I think that would have been a really fun experience to see someone like that up close because, yeah, he was doing stuff on the court that not many other people can do on a court where we're already talking about the top 1% of athletes. He really fits into the Boston possession maxing philosophy that they are leaning into. And I tweeted about this yesterday because I was looking into the turnover rate and deflection rate of a lot of guys because I noticed that Mitchell Robinson in particular is like a 95th percentile forced turnover per 75 guy. Paul George is really high. And that's like the one part of the Celtics defense that they've surprisingly ranked low in is forcing their own turnovers. Dylan Mitchell, I mean, is a chaos agent in every sense of the word, defense and offense. But that one play, where he reads the ball's going out of bounds for the opposing team, like in the opposite corner. he, instead of like chasing to contest that pass, reads where that dude's going to throw that pass to keep it in bounds, catches it, goes the other way for a dunk. I was like, that shit. Like, yes, he can't shoot. Well, I'm holding and waiting on any assessments on his shooting yet, but it's impossible to argue the fact that he has not maybe already improved, because, as Mike Sarin said he would, because he couldn't shoot at college and he already tripled his made shots in like fifth of the games. So hard to argue with from that perspective that the shot hasn't improved, but he absolutely fits into the possession offensive rebounding. He takes care of the ball himself and is a good passer, and then creates his own turnovers as well. I see the vision. I'm just like, where does he fit in on this team? Like, who's better right now at NBA basketball, Jordan Walsh or Dylan Mitchell? And I think Jordan Walsh is kind of like down the pecking order-ish on the wing kind of group. But also, who knows? How would you answer that question?
I might have to wait till October to tell you, because I'm trying not to be like on the Kool-Aid too much and be like Dylan Mitchell. Because I think Walsh was truly impactful last year when he was getting minutes. He was a clear reason why they turned the season around. Yeah, like one of their best stretches. They were 15-5. He had that stretch where he missed one shot out of 19 over 3 games or something like that. Like it was crazy. So to sit here and pretend like he can impact winning is bad. But I do really want to see opportunities for Mitchell come. And my answer to you in that respect is I don't think it'll happen frequently. There will be chances for him, like little 5 minutes where Joe's pissed off. He's like, go in there and just raise hell. Like almost like how Ugo was used at times this year, where it's like, you just go in there and be annoying and do something. Because I think he's capable of doing that. And you mentioned his IQ, like with the steals. He's also a great cutter. Like he knows really where to be. He has an insane motor for the offensive rebound, not just in the free throw line crashing, but rewatching some of his stuff. He will not be boxed out. Like he's going to find his way. He's going to sprint around people. He's going to get a hand on the ball. And I just think he has the potential as a deep bench guy to make an impact like very few other deep bench guys, because of like, I just think his ceiling would be crazy.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued to follow his development in particular, because he doesn't fit the stereotypical Joe Mazzulla archetype, where I've pushed. Shout out Ted and Maya, who I'm dog sitting right now, and it's raining, so I can't let them out. But yeah, you can hear him, Xavier, in the chat right now. But yeah, he doesn't fit the stereotypical 3-point rate version. But as I keep kind of hammering home, and as I think smarter people are hammering home, is that it's not just about 3-point rate. What grade are you giving Dylan Mitchell for Summer League?
I gave him A+. I put it on the Houdini report card. I think I wrote it today. Today I did that one. I'm so cracked out on Mitchell. I can't believe how well he looked and like how he shot the ball. Like the favorite jump shot he made was not a 3. He was going off the dribble and he had a pullback move at the free throw line and like rose up like he was James Harden and drilled it. And I was like, how's he doing that? Like, did he steal somebody's powers? Like what happened? And then he just feels like the complete package. I'm really excited to see what kind of opportunities he gets with the Celtics. If nothing else, he's going to be awesome to watch in Maine. Yeah. I'm not sure what they think of him. Brad spoke highly of him in the rage bait that you mentioned, talking about second round picks several times. You've brought this up, and it's so true. But like, it seems like everybody that spoke in Las Vegas was super impressed with what he's delivered so far. And to me, I think that says a lot about the work he's going to put in. And we all know about like the legendary player development staff. I feel like they'll be able to get something out of him.
All right, I'm going to unmute. And these guys are losing it. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go. Who's next? Amari Williams, Give me 2 minutes on Amari Williams, and I'm gonna let these hounds free. All right.
I'm really sad to have to do this without Jake here, without anybody, nobody defending Amari. Amari is out in no man's land. He's not covered. He has no trench blocking, nothing. Amari Williams is approaching what do we do territory. It is not good for Amari after these Summer League games. He had a great game one, and then it got worse. It was just mid. So much so, I believe he played. Oh, no, he did not play in the back-to-back when they got smoked by the Hawks. He played 4 of the 5 Summer League games. He played the final meaningless Summer League game against Orlando. He was, I believe, the only guy to play in that game. That him and Tanjay were the two that suited up that are already on the Celtics. Probably not a good sign for the guy who's already taking up one of your 3 two-way spots. When, if you include Mitchell in this, if you don't want to give him the 15th on a second round exception, which is everyone's can have a different opinion on that. I feel like that's the most logical move to solve this problem. But now you've got Amari, Dylan Mitchell, Milos Uzan, and John Tanjay. 4 guys for 3 two-way spots, hypothetically. And the one guy that has one already is the one that played the worst at Summer League. I won't say he's the worst because I think that would be a little unfair with Uzan, an undrafted rookie coming in, really not having had proved anything outside of Summer League from a Celtics standpoint. But Amari really was a disappointment after that first double-double where you're like, oh, man, there might be something there. And maybe it's because we all got our hopes up. But, oof, sorry, Nick.
Amari is interesting. If you could just clone Hugo Gonzalez's motor, or any of these guys, really, Hugo, Senak, Dylan Mitchell, like all of these guys are psychotic motor guys. And you see the flashes from Amari, like the last game that he played, he had a stretch where he had offensive rebound, he had back-to-back blocks, and then hit like DeVries on a backdoor cut. It was like all this stuff jammed into a section. And it's like, why is this not happening more often? Because he's the biggest, most athletic dude on the court a lot of the time. And I don't feel him be that a lot of the time. And that's my biggest criticism of him. I still kind of had him. I gave him a B just because my ideal ceiling outcome for him is good backup big man. And then a third big man, someone that can do as good as impact-wise as Gaza did last regular season would be a huge win for a dude that you drafted with the 40-something overall pick. So I'm still not completely out. He's a little bit older. I get that he started playing basketball later as well. But for me, the big part is just why play harder? And I feel like a dickhead kind of saying that because I'm sure he is playing hard. But it kind of is very stark in comparison to how hard a lot of the other guys seem to be playing.
RJ in the chat says, do we think it's possible that they're asking him to do stuff he's not used to doing? Not really. What did they ask him to do? They didn't say go run point. They didn't say create shots. They said set screens, rebound, and finish inside the paint. And he really one of these games, forgive me, I forget which one it was. I was he was out there. It might have been the game against Sacramento. I was where is he? He didn't do anything of note. Maybe it's because Senak was so good and he I would have rather just watch more Senak minutes than see Amari play. But I was oh, all right, I guess. And the fact that, I said, he didn't do enough to earn himself the game off for the last game raises some red flags for me in terms of what do they think of him. Because it's him and Tanjay out there. And I pulled up Nimi for perspective, which might not be completely fair. But for a guy who joined the Celtics summer of 2024, he played 2 Summer League games when we were all out there, he averaged 21 points a game and 8.5 rebounds. They shut him down after 2 games. Amari played 4, and there was no reason to believe that they would shut him down.
Yeah. The flashes are there. So you kind of hold on to that stuff. It needs to be more consistent for me to feel like good about it. But again, my expectations for him, like if he becomes a third big that you can throw out there for 30 games, like that's a win for him. So I'm still giving him a B. Maybe I'm too generous of a grader though.
Yeah, I probably would say like C. Like he was whatever. Like I could not be less interested. I will say the only thing about him that I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, is when he would get rebounds and then just push the pace.
Yeah.
He doesn't really get a lot of rebounds, like all the time. Like you can't go into a game thinking that Amari's going to get a lot of rebounds. And that's a little unfair because he put up good numbers in the G League last year, but just based off this, I was like pretty bummed out.
Yep. I think that's fair. Okay. Uzan. I'm an Uzan believer. And again, going back to the possession maxing thing that the Celtics are trying to do, he kind of is like undrafted rookie Mike Conley. He had a 4 assists to 1.4 turnover ratio in Summer League, which was like basically identical to his assist to turnover rate for Houston, which was like 4.1 assists to 1.4 turnovers. And like, that's really fucking good. He can get to some spots, he can create for others, and he can shoot it. And he feels a position of need on this roster. I would give him the 2-way slot over Tonji if I had to. I would give him an A though, just as far as like undrafted guy, and came in and was like, holy shit, we need to have this guy on the court because otherwise our offense doesn't work.
Yeah, that last point is absolutely it. Like, oh, why haven't they scored? We're 4 minutes into the game. Why do they have 2 turnovers on their first 2 offensive possessions? Why have they not gotten a good look? Oh, Uzan's in. Oh, all of a sudden it's going well. They're getting good looks. He was such a huge relief for Ugo, who was being asked to do more than he was comfortable with, especially as a ball handler. But having that extra help out there, the calmness, the tranquility, the know-how, you could really see how much it impacted the things they were doing. And you really just nailed this. Like position of need in terms of Shulga's not here anymore. Just they need to replace that in the farm system almost, where it would be nice to have a ball handler in one of the 2-way spots that you can maybe break out every once in a while, especially with like the depth chart at guard not being overly impressive. I do tend to forget Mike Conley is here, but I don't anticipate him having to take on a ton of minutes. Like, I don't think that's why they brought him in. I don't think they want to rely on him. So having somebody else that you can throw in the mix, even as like a 4th guy, I think it's valuable. And I think he should get a 2-way. I would agree with you. I would say A. I just think he really, it was almost the same as the Dylan Mitchell thing where I expected nothing. And all of a sudden, this is somebody who's already on an Exhibit 10 and coming out of Summer League. We're like, wow, I can't believe how impressive he was.
Yeah, love it. Love Uzan. And also his name is Milos Uzan. Like, got to be a top, like 99th percentile name guy. And then the good point from Pimpin' Nido King. Shout out. Big fan of the Moonstone for the Pokemon guys out there. There is definitely value in having a legit point guard on your G League team. Shout out JD Davison. Like, is it the development staff that's turned out all these awesome players for the Celtics, or is JD Davison actually the secret behind everything that's happened in the Celtics development pipeline? Either way, I think having a dude like Uzan in the pipeline between helping the main roster and ecosystem function at a higher level, and 2, just like position of need, like having another guard in the pipeline. The wing pipeline is full. The big pipeline is like now kind of well and truly under construction. And then after Derek and Pritchard, we have Conley. There's no one behind there that you can kind of point to. Even if he doesn't end up being anything, I was like using that spot on a point guard as opposed to another wing like Tonji, who I think probably deserves an A as well for how he played at Summer League. But I don't see people keep telling me he's a guard. Whatever. Like he's going to be.
He's
like
not
a
much
three.
taller than me, if at all.
Right. Okay,
for
interesting.
perspective.
Well, maybe that's another reason to cut him. I don't really see him as having a ton of like handle juice. But I am worried that he goes to Miami and becomes good.
See, I think to me the solution is Dylan Mitchell gets 15, and then Uzon, Tanjay, go with Amari on the two ways. You keep everybody, because I agree. Like Tanjay was sneaky, one of the most impressive guys. He played all the games, and he was an incredibly stabilizing force for them shooting wise. He was super consistent, and I know on this podcast so far we had talked about maybe the shooting stats don't matter that much, but his jump shot looks clean. His rotation is clean. His arc is good, and he shoots the ball with confidence. And for what it's worth, the type of shots he was getting in Vegas are the type of shots he would get if he ever found the floor with the Celtics. He was getting a lot of catch and shoot, wasn't really being asked to create a ton for himself. He had moments where he had to put the ball on the floor a little bit, but I liked that they used him in a role like he would play with the Celtics. And to see him thrive in that, get hot shooting the three, do it in moments where in that first game, he really didn't score any point. He didn't score any points in the first half, makes 5 threes in the third quarter, brings the Celtics back, and then they go on to win that game. I am super impressed with his confidence. I think Noah was telling us today, we did a pod with Noah today. It might have been the one that we did on our channel, but we did one on her channel too, that like he was another like, oh yeah, like I'm always super confident guy, like Baylor, how like Baylor's irrational confidence, like Tanjay has that same thing.
Yep. I think he's good, man. Game 82 legend from the 2026 season. Yeah. So I like him. It's an interesting positional crunch, but yeah, giving Dylan Mitchell the second round exception makes sense. The only reason to not do that is that, I hate to say it, leaving the 15th roster spot open allows for more optionality, whether that is a random guy that becomes available, which we might get to in a second here, or a buyout guy, or a 1-for-2 trade, or a 2-for-3 trade. It does allow a little extra optionality by not having someone in that 15th spot. You're probably overthinking it to a degree, but at the same time, are we overthinking it by being worried about losing John Tonji on a two-way? Probably yes to all of the above. But a guy that go on. Any thoughts on my closing statements there?
You know what would be great for optionality? Shout out Prize Picks, man. If you just did a Prize Picks lineup every game, you have options every day.
Optionality.
That's the ultimate optionality, is you just pull up with a new team every day. No, I do understand that. I don't want to spoil the conversation we're about to have. I think finding a way to make sure that you stay below the luxury tax is important here too. And if Mitchell enables you to do that and keep everybody, that's a pretty cool way to do it.
Speaking of guys that you could use with your 15th roster spot is Bradley Beal, who I wouldn't even say has been rumored as someone that the Celtics want to sign. It sounds like it's been rumored that Bradley Beal would like the Boston Celtics to sign Bradley Beal, based off my reading of the tea leaves of the slop reporting coming out over the last 24 hours. Shout out the Ball podcast, but for this term slop, not for the slop that was reported by a variety of people out there. Yes or no, Bradley Beal?
No. I don't care about him as a player on this team. We just did 54 minutes on awesome young guys that I would like to see get minutes. I don't need a 33-year-old guy. Now, I will defend Bradley Beal because when he was on Phoenix, his numbers were not as bad as like, oh, do you know his numbers off the top of your head?
At Phoenix or
yes.
At Clippers? Oh, I know that the advanced numbers for him in his first Phoenix year are pretty good. Not so good for the second season. Go ahead, please share them with me.
I was literally just going to read you like his like 18 points a game on 50-40 splits. Like he was an efficient.
That's what he does.
Secondary scoring option. And if you're going to get that, the problem in Phoenix was that he was making like a supermax. If you're getting him on the minimum, it's not bad to have that sort of production at your fingertips. Now, before he broke his hip with the Clippers, an old person injury he suffered with the Clippers last year. After 6 games, he was only at like 8 points a game on 37, 36, like really not impressive. And he was starting. It wasn't like they said, hey, come off the bench, Brad. Like you'll get a little extra or a little fewer shots, but hopefully you still be efficient. That wasn't the case. He just really wasn't very good. So I don't think it's worth bringing in an extra body who could possibly take minutes from Ugo or Ron or Baylor. I'd rather just give those guys some free reign and not worry about going above the luxury tax. And I think it was Z Gamer in the chat that was like ownership is directing them not to go above the tax. That could be true, but there are actual reasons like not to. They got below the tax last year. If they stay below it this year, they reset the repeater. And then ownership can freely allow them to spend money without wondering or worrying about their tax dollars being exponentially higher because of those repeater rates, which get crazy after a while.
Yeah. They're going to be under the tax this season. It'll be stunning if they don't. And if they do, it is going to be because an incredible trade that like opens the championship window to a crazy degree comes up, not because they want to sign Bradley Beal. That's for damn sure. We're not hating on Walsh. Xavier in the chat, we love Walsh. But yeah, the point you made about 54 minutes of exciting young guys, like the goal is to win another championship in the Jason Tatum era. And I think the way that you do that is by building this pipeline of youth into like maybe someone turns into a fringe all-star and then like another guy turns into a Josh Hart level guy. And obviously Chris Sinak becomes Chris Bosh. And then next thing you know, you look like a dynasty. So like, just because I'm considering trading him in the First of Floor Discord, which everybody should join.
You people?
Yeah, it's not me. It's look, there's a weird crunch at the position. I think he has some value around the league, but that's because I think he's pretty good. I think he would have some value, but yeah, I want to see the young guys get minutes. Like that's how we get to the next championship, not by signing Bradley Beal to a deal at age 33. On the other hand, I do think for this season, there is upside to signing Bradley Beal. Like he break his hip as an old man injury, but he has typically rolled out of bed and been like a 15 to 30 point per game scorer. Obviously not to that level for a while now, but like it wasn't long ago, as you just said, like high teens on high level of efficiency. There is upside to that kind of element of his game. That being said, he doesn't fit the possession maxing philosophy really. Not a great defender, not a great rebounder. I don't really see it, but at the same time, if Brad brings him in, I'm going to be like, oh, man, probably going to work.
Yeah, the only thing I could really like talk myself into it like big time is if they think that they can get somebody to give you 40 to 50% of what Jalen was giving you on a minimum contract. And like they really believe in it. Then maybe. Like if they're like gonna sell themselves and be like, all right, Beal can help take some pressure off Pritchard as he kind of ascends to the next level. He can be a nice backcourt mate for him coming in off the bench. Sure. But I just think the cap situation is too complicated. Like, who are you trading to make this work financially, to get underneath the cap, or the tax rather, if you're bringing Brad Beal? Is it Hauser? Are you going to clear cap that way so you can sign Beal to a minimum? Or are you going to get rid of Walsh? Like, I just don't think so.
Yeah, I don't see it. But maybe Jason Tatum's like, can I have one friend on this team? That would be cool.
Derek's on this team, Jason. You'll be happy with that.
Derek is on this team. Justin Ray, Celtics fans are overrating our young players. Most have role play ceilings. I do agree with that. However, it's not just Celtics fans. As Noah Delcel exclusively said on the How About Them Celtics podcast, she was told by many scouts, objective scouts, that they think that Ugo Gonzalez is going to be an all-star. There are many people being like, Chris Sinak does not look like he should have fallen to 27th to the Celtics. It's not just Celtics fans that are talking about it. If I had to bet my life, I would agree with you that most of these guys become role players, but they only become good role players if you let them play basketball. And
Correct.
I would be pretty underwhelmed by Bradley Beal being signed. Yeah, we already have the vet Mike Conley. Bradley Beal's also been a part of a bunch of weird locker room situations. I'm not really worried about him poisoning the well, but at the same time, like he doesn't not fit into the no dickhead policy. You know, it's like he might need a special exemption to get in, but he probably gets in.
Yeah, he did pout a lot in Phoenix.
Yeah, fair. I would have too, but it's like
Yeah, I probably would have been fucking pissed.
Yeah, you kind of wanted to get here. You signed the Supermax contracts instead of going to anywhere that you could have gone with the Washington Wizards. So, yeah, Sam LaFrance, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for hopping on in a pinch with Wayne Spooney battling the youth of the United States. And I think we're going to be back tomorrow, me and Ben, and we think we're going to be doing the Jaylen Brown appreciation farewell episode official, because it's been a lot of maybe the opposite
You guys
of
have
that.
been mean.
Yeah, we have been mean.
You guys have been like Rip Bozo, rest in piss. That's what you said.
That's a quote. I can only be honest, and the emotional response that I had to Jaylen being traded in comparison to Marcus Smart being traded is surprising to me as well. Like, I can only just feel how I feel though, and I'm going to really miss Jaylen, but I think I was ready for it to change, and I can see how, like, to get to the next iteration of the Celtics, the trade needed to happen. Maybe the Marcus Smart trade iced my heart over just a little bit, and this Jaylen Brown trade was kind of me and my metamorphosis into being full Danny Ainge, as Brad Stevens has morphed into his version of being Danny Ainge.
I just love that clip of Ainge on the Celtics documentary where he's like, I sat right down at that whatever dinner they were at, and I told him to trade Larry and Kevin. Like, they were like at the still probably their prime, but a little bit past it. He was like, trade him. So I can't imagine being full Danny Ainge.
Full Danny Ainge, yeah. Never go full Danny Ainge, but potentially. But we didn't get to it today. But is the Jaylen Brown trade the Brooklyn Nets trade 2.0? That's the question. Quick one question. I want to dive into this deeper another time, but I want to get your opinion on it. If a basketball genie came to you tonight and said, the Clippers pick tonight, I can guarantee that it's the 8th pick in the 2028 draft, would you keep that? Would you take that deal, or would you roll the dice on what it could become?
It's really hard to say because I was looking into the ping pong balls in like, I think I just learned yesterday that they actually do it for every spot and not just the top 4.
Yeah.
My knee-jerk reaction is no. I would not take 8 because they just like murdered Jaylen Brown. Like they Goodfellas Jaylen Brown. Like the 8th pick, you gotta get something better than the 8th pick if you're gonna do
8th pick's pretty good.
Is it?
Isn't, I don't know. It's 8th best. 8th best pick.
Let's see. Recent.
Okay.
It's gonna be all nasty guys.
I'm trying to think who was just 8th. Was it
Kingston Flemings, Jaeger Yeoman,
Hey.
Rob Dillingham,
Uh-oh.
Jarris Walker, Dyson Daniels, Franz, Obi
There we go.
Toppin, Jackson Hayes, Sexton, Frank Ntilikina, Marquise Chris, Stanley Johnson, Nick Stauskas, KCP.
Holy smokes. Now, we'll have to do that. Who were the picks 9 and 10, I guess, in all those drafts? Because that's the guy that Brad's going to take. But we don't have to go through all of those picks right now. So I actually think that the correct answer is to roll the dice as well. Because I think that the average outcome for the Clippers picks probably somewhere between 7 to 10. So like you may as well, like, what's the difference between 8th and 10th? How high of a number are you taking before you're not rolling the dice? 6, 4, 1,
5. 4.
Four.
Because you need to be like in a range where if you're going to make the pick, you can feel confident that you're going to get one of like the guys, but also you want to be in a range where if you want to trade the pick itself holds enough weight to like have some motion for you, right? And that's like the tough, like, sorry, like if you're offering me the 8th pick for, let's say, Cooper Flag, no.
Okay. Yeah. I
But
would
if
also
you're,
say no to
like,
that.
number 4, I'm like, what else do you have?
Yeah.
Not really.
We have Ugo. We have the 2031 Philly pick. Yeah, I think rolling the dice on 8 is the correct answer. And 4 is probably like the hold zone. And I don't know. If you're the Clippers, why the only way they don't end up picking high is if they make a trade to win now with the picks they get from the probable Kawhi trade, or they basically start to get their picks back from 2029 onwards. So it's like they could make a win now trade at the deadline or next offseason, but it's like you're just now entering a position where you can build a sustainable team. Like, do you forego that just because you don't have your pick? I think it's more likely that they just build slowly.
Yeah, and I'm also curious how this like lottery, because every other team, like if you don't have your own pick, what do you care about the relegation zone? Like there's no incentive to be bad either.
Yeah.
But like you're not going to be like fighting like hell if you lose. Like there could be behind the scenes like wink wink handshakes that they're like, we'll give you a second if you go in the relegation zone and lose if you don't have your pick. Like to like let's say like other like Milwaukee's like they have their own pick and they're afraid to lose a ping pong ball. They could be like, Clippers, please, we'll give you something.
It's interesting. I got 2 years to figure it out and 2 years to look at the draft class. I know Ben Pfeiffer uploaded a video that's thumbnail says stacked draft class 2028.
We should do a playback.
Yeah, 100%.
Way too early. Just
Yeah.
oh man, I love this guy.
I love this 12-year-old who looks really good right now. All right. Sam LaFrance from How About Them Celtics and writing for Hardwood Houdini, who I just saw wrote the Dylan Mitchell Hype Train article. Tap in to that one. Sam, it's been a pleasure. Everybody in the chat, it's good to see you. Till next time, go Celtics.